Dan, taxation is theft. Behrman.
I have no idea.
That's what I do. I lead a lot. Everyone did an awesome job. We've got some really awesome things to say, so let's just have another round of applause for everybody else. My name is Dan. Taxation is theft. Behrman. That is my name. That is how, with your help, I will appear on the ballot in all 50 states. Now, people ask me, did I change my name legally? Did I go to the court and file the paperwork and do this? And the answer is no. Of course not. Why? Because free men don't ask for permission. Right? So why are we here? Why are we all doing this? Why are we standing out for our right to consume cannabis? Why? Are we asking for permission? No, we're saying we are free. We are not government property. We're going to smoke it if we want to, and you no longer have the right to give orders to arrest us and imprison us for doing it. Everybody knows we all like to go around saying we know our rights, right? Some of us know some of the constitutional amendments. Everyone knows the first and the second. Nobody knows the third. Some of us know the fourth and the fifth. How many people know the Ninth Amendment to the Constitution? We got a couple people. Here's an interesting one. In the Declaration of Independence, it says we have unalienable rights, rights that cannot be taken away from us by any government or any tyrant. The Ninth Amendment says, even though we listed out a bunch of rights in the Constitution, your freedom of speech, your right not to be searched and harassed by police, even though we listed out those rights, we probably missed some, and those rights need to be protected by the government, like your right to consume cannabis. So I grew up in Los Angeles. I went to school where we had the DARE program, and these police officers would come in, and I used to always think they were my friend, right? They told us, we're here to protect you, we're here to keep you safe, until, of course, they're behind you with the red, white, and blue lights, right? Then we start feeling a little unsafe. They made me believe that around every corner was lurking a crackhead who was going to jump out and steal my soul. This is the stuff they're putting into our children's heads when they're 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. None of that's true. And so then we grow up and we watch TV shows. I used to watch Die Hard. I used to watch all these movies with these cops they're running around and they're breaking the law because they got to catch these bad guys, right? And we used to think, oh, well, that's acceptable. They don't need warrants. They should just kick the door down because there are really evil people hiding back there, and they need to break whatever rules they can to get to those people. And we used to think that was a good thing because those were good cops on TV we were watching. Until we find out they use that against us. Oh, you were stopped for going 2 miles an hour over the speed limit? I smell weed. Oh, do you? I don't have any. So, so this gets to an interesting question. Now, I don't want to start with a fight with the police, but there is a fight with the police. There's a fight between a lot of us and a lot of police. Now, what people who support the police usually say is, hey, you know what? Pot smokers, there's a few bad apples, they broke the rules, they ruined it for everybody else, and so everybody else is going to go to prison because they're smoking some weed. Why does it? That's bullshit, right? But if that was the way things worked, why is it that when a police officer shoots an unarmed person or violates somebody's rights by searching them illegally, holding them for hours looking for weed that doesn't exist, that they never even find, why is it that a few bad apples never change the rules for the police? Why is it that police are never held accountable for the few that are breaking the rules, the few bad apples? Why is it that a couple grams of lettuce will get you more time in prison than beating the crap out of somebody who is not even defending themselves, who is complying with everything you told them? Why is that? So I want to give another few examples, and these are stories. And like I said, I don't want to live in a world where we have to be at war with the police, because that's not a pretty thing for anybody. But I want to give a few stories. There's one story of a couple women who were just coming from their spring break trip in down in South Padre Island, and they were driving back to Houston. They were stopped. They had a little piece of a roach in their car, in their ashtray. They were pulled out of the car, and on the side of the road, a police officer gave them a cavity search. Nobody remembers this? This was in Texas a couple years ago. Some of you remember it. Can you imagine if that was your daughter, your brother, your sister, anybody? Can you imagine that? This, excuse my French, this is why people say fuck the police. Here's another story. Some kids were driving around. They were teenagers. They got stopped. The cop looks in their car with a flashlight. They got stopped for something else, a speeding ticket. Why don't you just write them a speeding ticket? No, you got to look through their car with a flashlight, looking for something that wasn't bothering anybody. He gets all of them out of the car and makes them sit on the side of the road for, who knows, 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. Turns out that little roach he found was a French fry. This is why people say fuck the police. Now this isn't just drugs, right? There was a guy who was driving through Nevada. He had $10,000 in cash on him because he was on his way to buy a car. A lot of people buy cars in cash because people are worried about, hey, you're going to write me a check, how do I know it's going to bounce? So people use cash for things like this. It's completely normal and it's completely legal. This person was stopped for going 2 or 3 miles an hour over the speed limit. The police asked to search his car and he said, well, I'm not doing anything wrong. Of course you can search my car. They found the cash and they said, oh, what are you doing with so much cash? That's suspicious. You must be dealing drugs. They took his cash. It took him over $20,000 to get that money back. This is civil asset forfeiture. And this is something that came from the drug war. This is a product of the drug war, right? They got all these banking regulations and everything to track your cash and to seize your assets. And this is why people say, fuck the police. Now, like I said, I don't want to live in a world where people are running around saying, fuck the police, but that's the world we live in. And if we want to fix that, police, it is your job to be the good cops and show the bad cops who are breaking these laws to stop them from illegally searching our vehicles. To stop you from arresting us. Especially in Texas where you have a cite and release law that says you don't have to arrest us and you want to do it anyway. So what's the solution here? The solution is to end the drug war. I'm running for president in 2020. With your help, I'm going to be on the ballot and I'm going to end the drug war. But I'm not just going to end the drug war and make everything legal. Anybody who's got a conviction, anybody who's been arrested and charged, you're going to be pardoned. For all non-violent drug crimes, because those laws never should have been there in the first place. We're going to undo everything that these corrupt governments have been doing for the past, how long has it been? It's been going on since before I was born.
That's a long time.
A very long time.
Renee.
We're also going to hotbox the White House. And of course, all my Texas friends are invited. Check out my website, Behrman2020.com. You can find all the links to my Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and everything else there. And one more thing I want to say. I've got a campaign promise on my hat. People ask me why I wear this big, yellow, ridiculous hat. This is a campaign promise. We hear politicians lie all the time. I'm telling you, taxation is theft. I'm not going to sign any new taxes. I don't want your cannabis to be taxed. And on this side, I've got end the drug war, because we're going to end the drug war. And if I ever back down from that, just point to my hat and you can hold me accountable. And what do taxes have to do with this whole thing? Those police that have been arresting us, they're paid for with the money that they take out of our paycheck. So we work our asses off, they take money out of our paycheck, they give it to these thugs who go around looking to arrest us so they can extort us for more money and threaten to put us in prison. Taxation is theft. I just want to say it again, hotbox the White House.